Welcome back to AppDev channel. In today's video, I am going to present an application that we are going to build in the subsequent videos to implement the asynchronous communication using servers and events approach. Okay, the application what we are going to build will be having a client UI layer where the job submit form will be there when the users submits the job by providing the job name from date and to date. When they click on submit, it is going to make a call, the job submit API call that is running on the middleware layer. Okay. So when the middleware receives the request from the job UI, then it is first going to create an SQS in the AWS. Then it sends the SQS details on the job submit request parameters that it has received from the UI to the backend by calling the job process API. So when our backend receives a request from middleware, the job process API request, it acknowledges it and it sends the acknowledgement response. And the middleware sends the acknowledgement response back to the UI layer. So till this step, the job submit step is completed. Just an acknowledgement it has received right from the backend to the middleware to the UI. Now, as the SQS created by the middleware, all those details are passed to the backend system as part of the job process API request. The backend system is going to push the status updates, the job status updates to the SQS continuously whenever there is an update. Okay. So once the job submit acknowledgement received to the UI parallelly uh, opening up an event stream to the middleware to get the status updates from the middleware whenever it has received the status updates from SQS. Okay. So after that, whenever there is a status update, that is status getting updated in the backend system, it pushes the updates to the SQS. The middleware is going to listen for the status updates in the SQS. Then whenever it receives a message into the SQS, then it pushes the update back to the UI layer. Okay, so whenever there is a update received from the middleware to the UI layer, then it starts updating the job status updates section in the screen. So whatever the job status it has received, whether the job is not started, whether the job is failed, or whether the job is completed successfully, whatever the status it has received from the middleware, right? All that status it is updating in the UI layer. So once all the job processing is completed, the connection to SQS in the middleware will be closed, and also the event stream between UI and the middleware will also be closed. Okay, so this is the high level overview of the application that we are going to build. Okay, so let me go a step further. What is our implementation plan that we are going to build? What are components? Okay, so first we will start with middleware. Okay, middleware will be developing a job submit API that receives the request from UI. Then we will also have another component in the middleware, like to listen for the job status updates from the SQS. And whenever it has received the updates from SQS, then it has middleware should be having a component that to push the job status updates to UI layer. Okay. Then after that, we will go to create a backend layer. Then what backend layer contains, it has to have a uh, job process API that accepts the request from the middleware, and it has to push the status updates or push the job status updates to SQS. Then we will go to the middleware and backend integration, like we have to call the job submit or the job process API to the backend, and we have to listen to the updates, right? Listen to the updates between middleware and backend. And then we will go on to create a UI form like the job submit form or the job status updates, event stream listener. And UI middleware integration part will consist of the job submit API call and the job status updates, event stream listener. Okay, so these are the different components and falling under the different layers that we are going to build. Okay, so with this, what all the different tools or APIs or the frameworks or services that we are going to use for this application? Okay, so we are going to use Spring Boot to develop the microservice REST APIs in the middleware and the backend system. And then we are going to use AWS SQS service to achieve the asynchronous communication between middleware and backend system to put the messages or to read the messages from the SQS. And then we are going to use JMS API that we are going to use to listen for the messages from SQS. And Spring Web Flux we are going to use for communication or the event communication, asynchronous communication between UI and middleware. And then we are going to use React.js to develop the UI layer, the job submit form, and also for the event stream listener between UI and middleware. Okay, so with this, this is the high level overview of the application that we are going to build. With this, I am wrapping up today's video. We'll meet in the next video by starting with the middleware layer development. Thank you for watching. Please give it a like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.